Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Today we're going to be talking about self-medication in China. Well, I've done it in other countries, but in China, self-medication is probably one of the best ways to go. Behind me is what we call your local Chinese pharmacy. This is where you can go to buy whatever kind of drug you need to fix whatever's wrong with you, and most of the times you don't have to go to a doctor. I'm standing on the street corner, so maybe for the rest of this video I'm gonna go try to find a better scenic place to finish this video, so I'll be right back. Well, this is much better. So where were we? Oh yeah, self-medicating in China. So in the Western world, if you say need a statin for high cholesterol, you have to go see your doctor, make an appointment first, then you have to go see your doctor and wait in the waiting room until the doctor's ready to see you, then go in and the doctor says, oh yeah, okay, and he writes you a prescription for a statin, and then he sends it over to the pharmacy of your choice, and you go over to the pharmacy and you pay $30 for a month's worth of pills. It's not the same in China. In China, you say, well, okay, I know I have high cholesterol. I go to the little store that we showed at the beginning, and you buy, for $4, you buy a month's supply. Much better. So in Canada, the doctor gets paid a couple $100s for your visit. You take a couple hours off work to go to see the doctor. Then you got to go to the pharmacy and pay them $30. So after about $250, you're done. And that's why the taxes and the healthcare are so expensive in Canada. You see, in China, you don't need a prescription for most over-the-counter, what you would call over-the-counter drugs in China. In Canada, statins for high cholesterol. Oh, and so a buddy of mine, Bob, he puts on WeChat these little articles all the time, and the article of the day here a couple of weeks or a month ago maybe was what do most Chinese people die of? Okay, so I figure, well, I'm in China, I better check this out. You know, I'm thinking lung cancer, pollution, whatever. No, high blood pressure. So I better go and check my blood pressure. Wow, it was really high. 167 over 95, which isn't good. So what did I do? Yes, I didn't go to the doctor. I went down to this little store, got some blood pressure pills, took them for a couple of days, checked my blood pressure, 125 over 75. So I didn't have to go to the doctor. I didn't have to wait for an hour or two. I didn't have to go to the pharmacy after getting a prescription. No, I didn't. I just walked over to the little store about a half a block from home, picked up a little pill bottle. I think I have it in my pocket, actually. I picked up a little bottle for 18 RMB for 30 days. Yes, less expensive. See, there's lots of different things in self-medicating. I learned this from a buddy of mine in Yuma, Arizona, where he goes down to Mexico and he keeps a cabinet full of Mexican drugs, you know, antibiotics. Oh, that's another thing. I've had a respiratory infection here I thought it was just a cold for, I don't know, a week and a half, and I've been feeling pretty bad. Cough and just not up to snuff. So I said, enough of this. Yes, I didn't go to the doctor either. I walked down to my little pharmacy. This was yesterday morning, picked up some amoxicillin, and you get this, 250 milligram pills for 5.6 RMB. So that's just over $1 Canadian for 50 pills. Well, I took them yesterday, last night, and today. I feel great, you know. So you don't always have to go to a doctor, because a doctor will just tell you, oh, go take this, if you have a little bit of knowledge. Dosage is a little bit tricky, because you don't know how much to take. You know what to take, but not how much to take. So what I do is I go onto the internet, and they've got these web doctor places where you can say, okay, well, how much of this should I take, and for what? Okay, well, so I do. Another one, in China, everybody gets cold sores. So if you want to go to say a pharmacies or whatever in the Western world to get a cyclovir and put a salve on your lip, well, that's okay, it works, but it's slow. Here, what you do is you go and you get pills, and they're like 11 RMB, so $2 for pills, and 2 days later it's gone. I don't get them. My wife does. I think just about every Chinese person I've ever known gets cold sores. I don't know what it is. Probably from eating out of the same dish, because it's, if you've ever been in China, you know, community dishes. My dad would hate that, because you would look at his plate and he growls at you. See, one of the difficult things in China with the language is, so if you have to go see a doctor, well, I got lucky. I found a doctor that was trained in Vancouver, Canada, same country as I come from, so he speaks English. But you know, most doctors in China do not speak English. So you go to a doctor, unless you're carrying somebody along with you to do translations and stuff, how do you tell them what's wrong with you? You know, what are your symptoms, how long, you know, things like this. So going to a doctor in China is difficult for a Westerner, and it's, you know, it's the same when my wife goes to a doctor in Canada. She says, well, I can't explain to the doctor because the doctor doesn't speak Chinese everything that's the matter with me. You know, so she can't articulate as much as she can with the Chinese doctor. So it's not just being in China for a Westerner, but it's a Chinese being in the Western world going to doctors. You know, so being able to self-medicate takes all of that away. And I'm sure that sooner or later you're going to do it wrong, and you're going to have to go to a doctor or whatever. But just for minor things like a respiratory infection, or high blood pressure, or high cholesterol, you know, going to the pharmacy and just saying, oh, I need it. And you see, most of these drugs are imported from a different country. So they've got, sure, they're written in Chinese, but they've got a big English name on them too. Here, I've got a couple. I'll show you the boxes. So this is a statin pills that I take, and these are 23 RMB for 1 month of statin pills. Amoxicillin capsules, yes, 250 milligram, 50 pills, that's $1 Canadian. Wow. What else I got in here? I'm sure there's another one. Oh yeah, there's another one. Acyclovir tablets, 11 RMB, 100 milligram for 11 RMB. You see, stuff like this, when you can just go to the pharmacy and buy it, it makes it so much easier than having to go see a doctor every time something happens. And you know, it makes the healthcare system here in China so much cheaper. See, I have gone to see doctors in China before, and my wife has gone to see doctors in China before. You show up at the hospital unannounced. You don't need an appointment. You have your little hospital book, so they know what your history is. You go to the front counter and you say, I want to see a doctor for this. They charge you 3 RMB, so 50 cents Canadian, to go see the doctor. Yes, okay, and then the doctor will prescribe whatever for you. But when you go to the hospital and they prescribe something, you have to buy it at the hospital. So, and yes, it gets way more expensive than going to these little pharmacies all over the place, which is not good. So if we can skip going and see the doctor, we do, you know. We do have a local doctor in a little shop right next to us on Hojilu, but I think I know more about medicine than he does. It's just, he's an old guy. He knows Eastern medicine but not Western medicine. And that's another video from Gweilo 60 on self-medicating in China. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Thanks for watching. Bye now. As you can probably see, I'm sitting here in a t-shirt. It is January 23rd in Nanning, China. It is 25 degrees Celsius. A beautiful day. Oh, I love Nanning. You know, it just makes life here so much easier when you've got a beautiful day like this, sitting on a bridge by the lake,